with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay, need you to stay.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 2, up on YouTube Live, on TSN's YouTube channel. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Noodles, I want you to meet my new guy, Bry and Gravy. That is my new guy right there, Bry and Gravy.
Gravy B.
I happen to be, before my game in Quebec yesterday, I was watching. I was dying laughing because I'm like, we've all been there, right? Like, we've all been at the rink and had kids. Like, I'm like, what would I have done? I don't know if I was going to eat the fries while the kid, attend to the kid or not. I never got the end of the story. Did you just throw them in the garbage as you
No, I put them on the bench. I laid them down on a bench and then
cared for the child.
All I could think of, remember Elaine, it was a Seinfeld episode. Wasn't Elaine the guy she was dating,
That's right,
got into an accident, but she ended up still stopping and buying the Juji fruits or whatever it was?
I take offense to that because I was not privy to the information before I bought the fries and gravy. All right.
Right.
I had
That's
already
fair.
purchased. Yeah. I had literally just sat down.
If you don't know what the hell's going on, it's not your fault. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. And listen, I was far away from the rink, too. It was one of those, 6-pad rinks.
Oh, no.
And I'm trying to hide because,
Hustling.
The snack bar is at the farthest part of the complex,
Yes.
and you're just it was like me coming back to the final episode at BMO there.
That's precisely what it was.
Yeah,
The washroom
you have
was
no clue. You think all is good,
Yeah.
and you're wheeling back, and it's big-time problems.
That's exactly what it was. And, we're not public figures. You guys are more famous than I am. And it's not like this is Austin Matthews or Vladdy Guerrero, but, there are people that kind of know you. So I was trying to hide a little bit.
Yes.
Too, I'm like, I don't need people coming over when I'm firing up a fry and gravy and it's a sloppy meal, like there's a good chance you got gravy everywhere and someone comes over for the handshake and you're doing the, hold on a second there. Let me just 1 second. Sorry. Yep. How are you? I think they'll be pretty good this year, Matthews. Yeah, I think. And the gravy's everywhere. It's tough. It's tough to pull that off incognito.
Hiding in the corner, eating your
and Noodles,
fries.
the second question we had was, after the game last night, did you go to the Dago Bear?
Oh, my God. It's so funny. I mentioned, the Dago Bear was the place to go to in Quebec City. I don't know. Oh, I'm sure you've
You
been
would
there
have played
several-
there, right? You were in the league when
did.
Quebec City was still in.
Yeah.
The broadcast found 2 games where I played against the Nordiques in Quebec.
Dude, you were doing stand-up moves.
It was actually, I don't know if we
Kirky
should.
McLean stand-up plays where you would not go down.
One, I looked like Forrest Gump with the stilts on in the net. Like Joe Sakic scored the game winner. He came down the wall and just shot it on the ice off the far post. Like, I would have got pulled. Like,
Those
goal,
were early 90s goals,
I
though.
know.
Like just a wrister inside the post
They were
on
the
the
best.
ice.
Messier, off wing, the best. Those were the best goals.
Brian Mudrick's like, hey, a little flashback, and I'm talking about it, and it's embarrassing. Like, if I had to do a post-to-post on myself, I even said, that looks like Forrest Gump with the stilts on in net. I didn't bend my knees once. And Sakic, and you know what Muddy said? He goes, oh, it's a good shot. That's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, it doesn't matter. He dribbled it far post, and I didn't even go down. There was no butterfly, no nothing. But I will say this. In my defense, I think I got second star that night. I played pretty well. We lost 2-1. I made 30 for 32.
Okay, so there you go.
And I do remember, getting back to your original question, a big night at the Dago Bear, the 3 levels, and just go into all hell.
Now, where
loose.
was it in Quebec City? Is it in old Quebec? Is it in a different part of Quebec City? It probably doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know. I don't even know. I just know that I've been there a few times in my career and never had a bad night there. Never had a bad night. Felt pretty good about myself. I'll tell you
great.
that.
Quebec City is a great town, man.
I told you, Hayes. Every guy that ever went in that place said, "Greatest night of my life. Win, lose, or draw. Didn't care."
Yeah. Yeah, we lost 2-1. If there was a medal for second star, I would have wore it to the bar. That's how cool I thought I was going in there. You go in there with a suit on, right away it's a conversational piece. Oh, what are you wearing a suit for? Played the game tonight.
Played no
blah, blah,
deke,
blah.
yeah. Sakic, scored on me.
Doesn't
posted
matter,
in.
yeah.
Great shot.
Posted in, great shot. No chance.
Great shot. I had no chance. There's no chance. Not even in the future would they make that stop.
That was the best question ever. Why do you got the suit on? And you
Yes.
toss it out there, and you think you're so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably a pretty good icebreaker, though. Let's be clear. It probably works pretty well, I would think, in terms of the icebreaker back in the day. But Ray's mentioned that a lot. Like his Hartford days, he would have played Quebec City how many times? 6 times a year he'd be up there.
Yep.
Right? In the late 80s and then the Islanders in the early 90s, which is where Ray's probably spent more time in that bar maybe than any other road player.
Yeah.
We should ask him that.
Yeah, we don't know what his activities were like post game, but I'm sure he partook in some with the mustache.
sure he had
Ray.
fun.
Ray was on my team.
Sure he had fun.
Ray
From
was
time
on
to
my
time.
team when I was letting in the Sakic goal. Ray Ferraro was my teammate, and I believe Travis Green was as well. So we flashed him on the bench, and I was like, sorry, Greenie, there's a minus that you had to chew on because I'm standing on my post as Sakic comes down the wall. I think we have the video. It's actually traumatic. I don't know if we got
Here it is. I got to see this.
Okay, this is Owen Nolan scoring.
All right. Well, there's nothing you can do about that.
Here, look at this one. Outside the dot.
Oh,
Doesn't even go down.
No! Like that is.
What's concerning about it, Jamie, is it looks like you were hugging the outside of the post.
Well, I was an angles guy, but maybe I was off my angle there. I don't know. But that's a tough look. That's looking like the 80s goaltender. That's a 90s goaltender.
Yep.
Standing up, Sakic, far side off the post, and people are like, great shot. I guarantee you, if there was a broadcast, they were like Sakic with a beautiful shot off the post and in.
Funny you say that because, obviously goalies took a lot of heat. Of course they did, but there's no way they took as much heat back then as they did now when you were, desensitized to the idea that a goalie could give up 8 goals and be considered a star of the game.
Fiercey.
Yeah, wow, what a game he played, man. We won 10-8. If it wasn't for him, you lose 15-10.
The only goal was just don't have the last one go in on you, and you might be a star of the game.
Right.
So true.
It's
now,
so true.
All you got to
just
do
get
is
crushed.
be the winner of the game, and you might be a star.
Yeah.
I will sometimes see Grant Fear responds to people sometimes on Twitter, which I think is outrageous. Like people will be like, "You're overrated. Your goals against was 375. Your save percentage was 880." And you're a Hall of Famer. What a joke. And he's like, "Yeah, and I won 5 cups too, or whatever he won." It is. But you are right, Hayes. You're desensitized because back then, giving up 3 was a good night. The scoring was a lot of nights. It was 6-4, something like that. So you're like
3 was tight checking
game, but that one was a 2-1 in Quebec, and Sakic scored a beauty off the post and in. That's
what a shot! Were you worried about backdoor? Was someone crashing the post or something? What was the concern?
I don't know what that was. It was outrageous what it was, but I kind of chuckled to myself because you're right. A shot like that nowadays, if Anthony Stolarz allows that opening night.
We're
doing an hour breakdown.
An hour on it. An hour on why the contract was stilly and, everything.
But the game has changed. The goaltenders have obviously evolved. The shooters, nowadays, that Sakic, he'll put that underneath the bar with one of his sticks.
Right.
He had those one pieces by the end of his career. But that was what I took away, guys, from last night is I'm sad that Quebec doesn't have an NHL team.
No kidding.
I think the city should, and I know there's corporate. Everyone talks about, okay, how do you sell the luxury boxes out if there isn't enough corporate there? All of that. I get that. That's semantics. That's the business side of it. Obviously, there's a reason why they're not there. But I'm just talking from a rivalry side, from a beautiful city, from a beautiful arena.
Noodles, what about this? What about the attendance? It was packed in there.
Packed.
Think about what you saw in Atlanta.
Yes.
All those years with nobody there.
Yes.
And they're talking about going there and not to Quebec? Come on.
It's done. Like we said yesterday, they don't even ask about Quebec City anymore.
Don't even inquire.
Don't even bother wasting people's time.
Which is sad because that The building is elite. The people were unbelievable. I know it's kind of a friendly situation because there were Sens fans there and there were a lot of Montreal fans there. And it was a 5-0 game, but it got a bit greasy. So
it got greasy last night. It sure did,
man. Did it ever?
Those brothers,
the Jackeye brothers.
They're causing problems.
The brothers Jackeye, I call them. I said, like, these guys were menaces.
You're right. The brothers Jackeye, they're like out of the Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
The brothers Jackeye.
That's
they're
what I
the
called
polished
them last
version
night.
of the Hansons. Like they're really good players, and
that's the younger one.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I didn't understand.
That cross check there was crazy, man.
That should have been a suspendable. And they didn't call it. Ottawa ended up 5-on-3 after all of this nonsense, where Jackye's wailing away on McEwen. Started that, reached in, he gets tossed.
Why was he pissed? This is what I didn't understand. He destroyed this kid.
Yeah,
and he throws his helmet as if he got pumped.
Yeah, no, Unique got destroyed by Struble. Struble cross-checked Unique in the jaw.
And then beat the hell out of him.
There was one punch that really knocked him down. I think that's what broke his nose. But out of all of that, the look on Travis Green's face, you want to see a Scrabble face, when the ref skated out and said 5-on-3, he just waved over. You remember Vladdy got called out on second, like he was waving to the.
Yes.
That's what Greeny was doing, going, okay, we need to have a conversation here because I don't know what you saw, but that's not what I saw. And the Sens were in the box the whole night. They didn't play much of a roster. Their second line played, but it was it got greasy. And they play again on Saturday. I don't know if you want to have it greasy.
Well, that's the question. Like, who's going to play and who do you want? Like, if you're Marty St. Louis and Travis Green.
You really want revenge game in preseason?
No, not with the players we're talking about. Like, with all due respect, like it's if Nick Suzuki or Stützle gets cross-checked in the face, then that's what's coming. That's what you're going to have. It's going to take place. If you have guys further down the lineup, like the Jackeye brothers, Arbor Jackeye is a 6th, 7th defenseman. He's not guaranteed to play every night. Florian, I'm assuming, is going to start in Laval. I don't know that for certain, but maybe he finds a way on the team.
Yeah.
But he's further down the list. McEwen, the same thing in Ottawa. Like, these are not every night guys.
So what you're saying is get the top-end guys in there, it'll diffuse everything, and everybody's settled down.
Wouldn't surprise me if that happened. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Ottawa plays in St. Louis tomorrow. So that's a
weird one. Why are they down there out of nowhere?
The only way I could think about it is, where's the captain from? Maybe
you throw Brady a bone, I guess. Okay.
But they go to St. Louis, and then they go back, and they're in Montreal on Saturday. I'm calling that game. That's Habs Senators. I believe that's their last preseason
That would be,
game.
That would be
so
it.
I don't know if you dress everybody or you just go, hey, everybody's playing Thursday in St. Louis, and we're sending the baby Sens to Montreal on Saturday. I don't know what you do there.
But that's where Marty St. Louis got to make the call. Because if you know that that's what's coming from Ottawa, then who do you dress? Who do you not dress? What do you take into consideration? Because, you have to dress players. If you have a preseason, there's guys are going to play, and especially guys further down the lineup. Like Demidov got slashed last night. He's a rookie. He's going to play. You're not going to give Demidov the whole preseason off to avoid Nick Cousins.
That was a greasy slash.
It was. It was a really greasy. When he got fined, I'm surprised he didn't get suspended for that. Even if it's the gratuitous rest of the preseason fine, he gave him a good two-hand whack.
Boy, good chop. And and Hayes, yourself, both with the gloves and between the elbow pad and the glove is that little spot there right on the wrist. Cousins knew exactly where he was targeting. I don't know if he had wrist guards on. Some of those wrist guards have padding in them, but that looked like it hit him right on that soft spot there.
Yeah, that one
he
stung
took the
him.
little wind up too. Like, you can do that without. He didn't disguise it at all. He was like, "I'm going to chop this guy, man."
And I don't get where Cousins is not trying to make a name for himself. He's established who he is in the league. He's been in the league.
He just showed it last night.
Exactly. That's who he's been. And maybe that's what he's trying to do. Hey, I'm going to keep going, and this is a rivalry, and Demidov's getting a lot of love, and, hey, here's a whack. Yeah. But, Cousins, it's not like, again, Florian Jackeye, who I'm impressed by because how he's grown as a player and all that, like, he's trying to make a name for himself. There's old school in those guys and him and younger players. And, you talk about being desensitized to goaltending and scoring and all that. It's the same thing with the craziness of last night. 20, 30 years ago, that was just the preseason. That's what would happen from time to time. There'd be 5 or 6 fights, and especially if you had certain lineups, you're like, this is what's coming. Like, guys are trying to make the team, and they're going to fight. It's going to happen.
It would be worse than that. It would be crazy.
You're right. And you guys probably played in a lot where you're like, this is absurd. What's going on? Now, like, these are 2 rivalries in Quebec City. A big crowd for a preseason, like kind of an excited, this is a cool, different element to what you do in the preseason. And it's Ottawa, Montreal. Of course, there's going to be some craziness from time to time. Like, that's what's coming. And that's what happened last night.
You know what I got a lot out of yesterday, just kind of learning both teams, looking at their rosters and that. Like, both of these teams are young, up-and-coming teams. And, you know, Ottawa's best player was Jake Sanderson, hands down. They didn't have a lot of guys in the roster, but, you know, Jake Sanderson was – man, he's good. And this Lane Hudson on the other end is just, you know, he's different. He's a different player than Jake. Like, I think you could argue that Jake is better defensively and Lane is better offensively, but they're catching up to each other on a lot of different things. But, man, they're both dynamic, and that Lane is dancing around and shaking and baking. And you know.
He had the Dago Bear dance going last night.
Well, that's the thing. Somebody just wrote to us saying apparently the Dago Bear is still alive.
Still around. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, we got pics yesterday, man. We got pics from it yesterday, the patio and stuff.
On the Grand Allée. I'm butchering that. So this is the description on Google. Snazzy. Who wrote that? Snazzy castle-themed night spot with multiple floors, music events, dancing, and light shows.
All you need to know is the word night spot.
Yeah.
That just says everything.
I remember being on the 3rd floor, just cutting a rug, putting a clinic on. There's
like reviews. Like, who writes reviews about a club?
Like, Struddy would do that. He's the type of guy
probably
who writes
would.
like a Yelp review for a good sandwich he had or something.
Facebook Marketplace and Dago Bear reviews back in the day.
I don't think Struddy, he might have made it there. He might not be. You know, I don't know
think
if
he's too
in the
young
league
for that.
Quebec, he's a few years younger than me. But Quebec went to Colorado and won a cup right away, right? But I played
96.
I played against Quebec before they moved, and that was Joe Sakic was a star.
Man,
Sundin was there.
Sundin was there. Owen Nolan was there.
Yeah.
They had so many good players. Like back in the day, Dale Hunter, I think, started his career there, did he not?
Ricci.
Yeah, he did.
I think Dale Hunter, the Stasny brothers, like they had a lot of really good players.
It is sad. That's what I got out of it last night. Just I thought about it because I wasn't sure where you were going to sit on that, Brian. Because I think you believe in we could have a second team here in the GTA, but I just always felt like maybe you were down there. Look there's the Dago.
There she
Bear.
is.
Wow.
Look at that. That's prestigious, man. That looks like that looks like the patio's open in the winter.
Yeah, but that's not the whole thing. It's just a portion of that, right? Noodles, like that can't be the whole thing.
I think you go in. I believe that bar is. You look at the awnings. You go in there, and then it's like a Thunderdome. Like you're in the middle, and then you see. Like if you're on the 2nd level, you can look down the balcony to the 1st level, and same thing with the 3rd.
So
like
good.
I felt like it was like a Thunderdome feeling.
Oh,
there it is.
Look at that spot.
God. Yeah, I'm telling you. I've been on the 3rd floor, just enjoying life, man.
That's a great spot. I could tell. I've never been in there, and you can just tell the vibes are immaculate.
OverDrive from the Dago Bear.
We got to get to Dago Bear. Got to get there. Get a little St. Hubert's and go to the Dago Bear. We could do that all night.
What do you think I had for lunch
I
yesterday?
knew you would. I knew you'd hit that St. Hubert's.
You love that, man. That's one of your favorite things.
I had such a weird, travel day and all of that. My flight was at. Look at that.
Who puts the name of the club behind the DJ?
I'm telling you, that is an unbelievable place. But
St. Hubert is a high priority for you in Quebec.
I had a growl on yesterday, so I had Ubered Eats some St. Hubert, and it comes with that gravy with the peas in it. It's so good.
Oh man, it's so electric. It sucks. It's not here anymore. It used to be in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, St. Hubert. There used to be one at Avenue in Lawrence.
Well,
and they used to be scattered throughout the GTA. And they're not here anymore. It's very disappointing.
1:00 on Saturday. That will be my order in Montreal.
I wish you could ship one back to me. I'd love Uber Eats.
See if they make some poutine for you, so you can walk around and see if the kids are injured or not.
Well, because I think we were going to Uber Eats it from Ottawa from Gatineau, and the guy was like, I think they could do that.
Yeah,
we ended up not going that route in the summer, but. Anyway, all right, we've got Dave Sims coming up. The Yankees losing last night. Crochet just did what Scuba did in the afternoon.
So
that
good.
guy is a monster, Hayes. Like, just looking at him, like, how many pitches did he throw last night? Wasn't he like chucking 117 and it was over a hunch?
I think his last pitch was his 117th pitch, and I believe it was 100.
Yeah, 100 and something.
Yeah, 100 and something miles an hour.
And if you're a Yankees fan, you're looking for some blame, pulling Fried, like, why'd you do this or do that? What are you going to do? You got Crochet in there, and then Chapman comes in after him.
Yeah.
How do you do anything against – look at this guy. He's a mutant.
He really is.
Yes.
He's a scary-looking dude. He's got Randy Johnson vibes.
Yeah, he does. Someone posted a pic of him leaving the hotel before the game, and he just looks so angry and pissed off. And he's just – look at the walk on this guy.
Yeah. Got the sleeve. Like, he just looks like he's trouble.
He looks like he's got a head like Luke Shen. Like, it's kind of like that big, like a really – big bison head.
Grew up on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Farm, thick guy. And it looks like he's just got a mean on. Like, he competes.
I need to know where this guy's from. Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
So he is Luke Shen. He's the Luke Shen of the South.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's the Luke Shen of the South.
I thought you were going to say like Wisconsin or something, just some kind of farmer where he just chucked hay his whole life.
I thought so too. I thought I would, if you had to ask me what state he was from, I'd say Wisconsin immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's bald with the beard.
Yeah.
And he chucks hay. His dad still makes him work in the summertime.
Yeah.
And he's just angry.
Yes. He loves Miller Lights, and he loves the Packers, and yeah, we could go on and on of what I thought this guy's whole story was going to be.
But if there was a baseball fear factor, and like you're picking five guys, whether it's Ohtani at the plate, Judge at the plate, Skubal, it's got to be this guy at number one, isn't it?
He's right there, dude. It's him and Skubal are both nasty. Like, he is. I think he might be nastier. Like, Judge called him the best pitcher in the game because he's owned Judge. Like, he struck him out like 15 times this year. It's absurd what he's done to Judge. And Ohtani, speaking of him, he had 2 home runs last night.
Yeah, Teoscar too.
Yeah, just get in the playoffs and the Dodgers will torch you. Like,
well, that's what I told you. Like
they're the
Dodgers
Panthers.
They'll crush you, but Ohtani still does his thing. When we talked about Vladdy yesterday.
Yep.
It's like you want to be great, but the star player's still got to do his thing.
Well, Vladdy's got an opportunity to do that this weekend. Right?
We'll come back and speak on that. Ross Atkins was talking today. Vladdy was talking today. Vladdy pulling a page from Nazem Kadri earlier today. We'll tell you about
I thought exactly that same thing. You talking about the loophole thing?
Yes, of course. Exactly. Of course. And the whole team's trying to – we'll tell you about it. We'll get into it. Dave Sims coming up, and Struddy will join us. The Oilers have found their goalie. The Oilers have found their goalie.
They got their guy.
They got their guy. And they're a week away from opening night, and still nothing on McDavid. So Struddy coming up just after 5. Role play level of concern. In about an hour, Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog. Yes, he's a 360 all the way.
All right, Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Dave Sims will join us here in a moment, the voice of the Yankees. Must win for the Yankees tonight.
Isn't it crazy, Hayes? Like going into that one day, and then it's like, okay, don't win today, we're all going home.
That's right. 164 games you'll play. You'll play 2 more games than the Rockies, and you'll go home.
That's right.
Crazy. The Jays are playing their intra-squad game right now down at the Dome, and there's people in the stadium. They've sold tickets to it. It was $10 for anyone that wanted to come down, and I guess Jeff Hoffman came out of the bullpen. Like, it's really weird. Keegan's down there giving full breakdowns. But earlier today, the players were speaking, the manager was speaking, the GM was speaking. We'll get to that in a moment. And, you know, when Atkins spoke on Bichette, he said, hey, doing better every day and working towards this, typical GM speak.
Some kind of answer where after he was finished, you probably didn't know what he said.
Exactly. And that was his purpose. Yes. You know, just get the flies off, stop asking about Bo, even though they know what's going on with Bo. They know if he can play or not. I think they got a pretty good idea. So then the mics move over to Vladdy. Hey, what do you think of Bo? And Vladdy says, quote, we miss him. He knows we miss him. This is God's plan. Whatever God has for us, we've got to take. I hope we win this series and he comes back for the next one, end quote. Which is eerily similar to, of course, when the Leafs were planning on making Joffrey Lupul disappear years ago.
Yes.
And the media went to Kadri and said, "What do you think of your boy Lupo?" And he said, "Looks unbelievable out there."
Best I've ever seen him. He was flying around and wheeling around out there.
Great shape,
Looks
unbelievable. Can't wait for him to be playing. And people are like, you better be quiet.
Yeah, but
go
guys,
away.
if the players aren't notified on what how are they supposed to know? What the hell else are you going to say?
Very true. And guess what? Vladdy's talking with Bo. Bo's probably told him, "I'm not playing." That would be my guess. I'm not ready. I can't play. Like, I think the concern is that he might be done for the year, and they're not telling people that. And it always gets into a sticky area. What do you owe your fans? What do you owe the media in terms of transparency?
You don't know anything as the player. You just got to be honest with the team.
Right. And the GM, as of today, doesn't have to say anything other than what Ross said. On Friday, we will know because they have to send in their roster, and if Bichette's not on it, then then we know. He's not playing.
Right.
He's not playing in the DS, and the door is open for him to not play, period. Because how much better is he going to be a week from now? Who knows? Maybe he will be. Hopefully he will be, obviously for Bichette and the Jays. But Vlad, you bring up a good point. Vladdy's not his job to peddle the propaganda or whatever or deal.
If someone doesn't come up to you and say, "Hey, man," like just if this was brought up, just kind of say, "I have no idea. We hope he's playing."
Yeah.
Then what's he supposed to say?
He answered it honestly. His view is Bichette, hopefully they win and maybe he can come back the next round.
Yeah.
Here's my question, though. Did he answer it or did the interpreter answer it? Because
No, I think he answered.
I think he's down there answering. He's doing a much better job with that.
he is, but I feel like sometimes if there was a scrum, he has an interpreter there because it's probably a little bit overwhelming for him getting a lot of questions. So I've seen him come in both settings, so I wasn't sure because you could probably pull the interpreter aside and say, "Can you just like dial this down a bit?"
True. Lost in
right?
interpretation there.
Yes.
Lost in translation.
Right.
It is a good question. Will the interpreter come out the next time and possibly try to clean it up? But again, there's no point in hiding it because on Friday, they play on Saturday. They have to issue their roster on Friday.
Yeah.
If Bichette's not on it, then he's not on it. If he is, okay, then no one's going to hold it against Vladdy. It's a positive story. Bichette found a way to recover. But Ross also said, they expect or they know Vladdy's going to produce for him and be great for him. I'm paraphrasing. But obviously, you have to say that. You better believe it. Give him $500 million. You better believe he's going to shine under the lights, right? You better.
Yeah.
And
well, Hayes, do you believe it? How much do you believe in that right now?
It's weird because the last 3 weeks it just hasn't been good. But if it's the Yankees, he loves playing the Yankees.
Right.
So I do kind of, in a weird way, think he'll show up against the Yankees. He likes playing the Red Sox too. And as of now, obviously the money's on the Red Sox winning this wild card because of what happened last night. But Garrett Crochet is now done. He's not showing up tonight. He's not going to show up tomorrow. So we got 2 new pitchers, a new slate, and the Yankees are in must-win territory tonight. Here's the voice of the Yankees, play-by-play announcer Dave Sims joining us. What's the vibe like in New York today, Dave, compared to this time yesterday?
Well, it's still sweating things out. It's still a lot of things going on after what happened yesterday, as you would expect. With the move of taking Fried out of the game. That was our buzz when we got to the booth here. But you know what? Hey, these guys are pros. They've been through this before. Nobody's freaking out. Got to win a game. It's simple. Not so.
Right. Well, and the Fried stuff, like everyone's buzzing about that. And you just mentioned it. Taking him out, it reminds us of a couple of years ago. They took Barrios out. They went to Kikuchi. You remember that story with the Jays. And the Jays got torched for that because of how well Barrios was pitching. But then when the dust settled, everyone looked at it and said, well, the Jays didn't score any runs. So, you look at the ninth, the Yankees had a chance to still win the game, and they couldn't find a way to do it. So how do you balance the Fried decision with the fact that the bats didn't get the job done for the Yankees last night?
Well, as you know, that's baseball. And, first inning, first 2 guys reached, didn't score. You had bases loaded late. We were kicking this around earlier, about an hour ago. Ramiro. Ahmed Rosario, 6 for 9 against Crochet. Then you got 2 deadly home run hitters, Rice and Chisholm, were on the bench. And so, that took away another opportunity. It's a team that hits home runs. They're going to get more home runs than anybody in the Galaxy. So they didn't do that last night. We'll see what happens tonight.
We were talking about that monster Crochet and like how impressive was that performance, what he does, and he goes out there. He looks angry. He looks pissed off. He looks starving. He's everything.
Well, he's not starving at 6'6", 245, but for me as an old timer, he looks like he's a double-sized Sandy Koufax with a sort of an awkward delivery, but with unbelievable powerful stuff. He rushes it up there, high 90s, low 100s, and then he finished it off with Chapman, who came in throwing the mid-90s and said he got in trouble with the bases loaded, and all of a sudden he found 1, 2, and 3. So that was just a lethal combo last night for the Yankees.
So, Dave, if for the Yankees to win tonight, is it just a simple formula that Judge has to knock a few out of the park, or what do you make? What would be the number one thing that you would be looking for them to win tonight?
Well, Rodon's got to pitch a healthy game. I mean, he's got one of the lowest batting averages against. He's one of the top 3 or 4 winners in the American League. Just keep him in a ball game and get deep, and don't put the bullpen in a position to get 9 or 12 outs. Keep it simple. Keep it to about 6 outs. The home runs will happen. It's a team that hits the ball out of the yard. Christian's got 34, Judge 53, 29 for Belgium. I mean, you guys, 7, 8 guys with 20 or more home runs, 3 or 4 with 30 or more home runs. That's what they do to the yard. So it's Bayo shoved it on the Yankees here early in the season. They got to him up in Boston the last time they saw him. So we'll see what happens. It's very intriguing. You got a lot of New Yorkers, New York Yankee fans sitting on the edge of the seat, ready to scream or cry.
Yeah, scream or cry, exactly. With Dave Sims, the voice of the Yankees, Game 2 of the Wild Card Series. And we'll get you out of here with the question about Judge, because he had a couple hits last night. That one defensive play where a little bit slow and allowed, a runner to get to second, and he was taking a little bit of heat for that. How much emphasis is on him being simply clutch? You mentioned it's on the starting pitcher first and foremost, but how much attention in New York in general is just on Judge having himself a night tonight?
Well, I would say, for a guy who's at worst the number 2 in the MVP, it'd be nice to have a big evening for him. He did go 2 for 4 last night, didn't leave the yard. And the play you're talking about in the outfield, I thought, given the fact that he's had the elbow problem, I thought it was a good throw. He might have got there a tad late, but don't forget the kid that was running was busting himself to get out in the second place. So you got to give the other guy credit. It's not always about giving blame. The other guy did the right thing. He was hustling. And everybody salutes that. But does Judge have to hit a home run? A couple of guys off would be very healthy, but there's a whole lineup of guys that hit home runs.
Have a great call tonight, Dave. Thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
You got it, fellas. Be good. Take care. Good to see you.
There he is, Dave Sims. It wasn't a Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't quite the mime because I couldn't hear a lot because he's at the stadium. Like he's up in the radio booth getting ready for the game.
And it would be loud.
Oh, man, it's so loud. Like they're an hour and 20 minutes. That was really cool of him to do that. We really appreciate him doing that. And it was really like he points it out. Like he's not from New York. He's recently been hired to call their games. He's a great play-by-play guy. Yeah. But, Crochet's nasty. And the Fried stuff, he brought that up. Like, that's very similar to the Brios going to Kikuchi, taking him out when he was red hot. Should they have done that last night? Led to runs.
Crochet, hangry, I meant to say, not starving. The guy is a monster out there.
I didn't realize he was that big, though. 6'6", 240.
Oh, Noodles. This guy is a giant.
He's huge. That's why Randy Johnson, though, was thin. He was like 190 pounds or something. This guy's 240. He's a linebacker. He looks like Brian Urlacher.
He does.
He's huge.
Square jaw.
But Hayes, talk about pressure, though. You don't have to go up to the plate and just get a hit. You have to go yard. That's what the expectation is of every Yankee fan.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, that is some stress and pressure.
And that's what Dave just listed off. Like, they have hit home runs all year. Guys were hitting home runs in April, unlike any team we've ever seen. And they have a lot of power hitters, and it's led by Judge. And it didn't happen for them last night, and it's got to happen tonight, which, again, speaks to how important it was for the Blue Jays to win the division. Could you imagine they lost last night to Crochet, and they had to – Game 2's at the Rogers Center tonight, and they have to win it? How nervous you would be if any of them were going out there. Gosman, Bieber, Yusavich, whoever it was. It's such a luxury for the Jays to be in the position they're in. I referenced the Shedeur Sanders thing, which we could play it over us. We can't. There's no audio to play because he was, I guess, being a mime.
Yeah, he's a mime.
He was
Isn't
being
that
a
one of the
mime.
most bizarre things you've ever seen in your life?
It honestly is incredibly bizarre. So the story in Cleveland is Joe Flacco obviously hasn't been great. They are going to Dylan Gabriel. This is the Browns in a nutshell. They drafted 2 quarterbacks in the draft, none of them in the first round. They took Gabriel in the 3rd round and Sanders in the 5th. So it was always going to be this weird controversy. They got rid of Kenny Pickett before the season started. So Gabriel's getting the start. And in a way, I feel it's a little bit unfair to keep going to Sanders. He's the 3rd-string quarterback. No other 3rd-string quarterback in the league gets any media attention. Nobody cares about that guy. No one's talking to him. No one's asking him about anything. But he's Shedeur Sanders. He's a massively popular person and comes from a legacy name in the NFL. And if you're watching on TV or on YouTube or online, he's not answering or talking. He's doing he's miming answers.
But why? Though?
I don't
Is there
have
any
an answer
reason
for you.
that came out why he's doing that?
I guess so. He can't say the wrong thing, or hey, I don't want to be a distraction, or don't come talk to me. Go talk to the other guys. But then just turn your back and say I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Either answer the questions or don't talk. But to mime answers is a really strange place.
Who was turning their back last night? Was it Jazz Chisholm or somebody?
Yeah, Chisholm was bent out of shape. He wasn't in the lineup last night.
And he did a post-game interview, and he was completely facing his stall. Like he was arranging the clothes in his stall. Yeah. And they were asking questions, and he would like turn back and be like, I guess. And then,
well, and
those are 2 of the most bizarre interviews on the same day.
Yes, within 24 hours of each other. And again, if you're the media on both ends, it's like, well, aren't you mad at Aaron Boone? Why are you mad at us? Like we're just
Look at this guy.
Yeah, Chisholm was not happy that he wasn't playing last night.
His clothes. Yeah,
that is really strange.
That is, but like the Sanders one, I didn't like. I found myself. I watched it like 3 or 4 times. I was trying to read his lips because he was answering. It felt like he was answering the questions just with no volume. So whatever they asked, he was answering it. But I was like, okay, is somebody going to have a lip reader out there? And did he say something wrong? Did he not say something wrong? But I thought it was stupid. It draws more attention to yourself instead of just going, hey, I'm going to support the guy and, good luck to him and move on type of thing. Like
the cliche answers are so easy there. And yes, they're cliched, but it's so easy just to say, hey, happy for him. I'm here to support him. When I get in, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And instead I'm going to mime answers and not say anything.
Yeah.
And
stupid.
Make a bigger story of this. But, again, it is strange that the 3rd-string quarterback, because that's what he still is. Gabriel's starting, Flacco's the 2nd string, he's the 3rd string. Why is he even talking to the media? It's almost like, why aren't the Browns PR stepping in and saying, guys, you're not talking to the 3rd-string quarterback?
Exactly. He's not an option and wouldn't be, so why are you going to go there?
Yeah.
You're just doing it because of his last name.
Yeah.
And they probably knew something goofy was going to come up, and that's exactly what they got.
Well, the media did.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's on the PR guy to say, just don't even bother going over there.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never even, I don't know about you guys, have you ever seen anything like that?
No. I mean, there's been some ridiculous, interviews over the years. We should probably have a top 10 or top 5, Hayes, like ridiculous interviews that we can think of. Like, that one is one of them.
Yes.
It's just a weird scenario. There's been guys that have, either said something or not done something. There's been combative guys who tried to fight the media. Who was that? Didn't Dominic Hasek try and choke a guy out in Buffalo one time?
Yeah, he did. That was Jim Kelly, I think he went at.
Yeah.
No, man, the worst one ever is I think his first name's Hal McRae, Brian McRae's dad. In Kansas City, he was the manager, and he ripped the phone out of the hinges and cut a reporter in the nose, dude.
That's right. He pulled it off the desk. I remember that. Like, that was – there are some outrageous interviews, but, like, that one was just stupid. I don't know what he's trying to make of it.
Like, the other ones are based on emotion or something. Again, it's not about, like, condoning it, but it's – pissed off because the media is going at someone or going crazy or you're overly emotional or it's after a game or something.
Don't ask me stupid questions right now, please.
All right.
Well,
Who was that?
Tortorella
John
would have.
Tortorella, of course.
Tort's going at Brooksy.
Yes, Tortorella had a million of them. But again, that was generally after games or stories were being reported, and it was Larry Brooks was poking at him for some reason, and he had a vendetta against the guy. He had an issue. I'm saying Tortorella didn't like Brooks. Yeah. This is midweek with a smile on. It's really strange by Shedeur. Yeah. And I read a story on Tortorella earlier this week saying that he wants to get back in the game and he wants to coach again. And he's all, of course, pissed off about the interpretation that he quit on the Flyers. Of course, it's the media's fault, not him, even though, remember the quotes he gave? They were absolutely outrageous.
It was in Toronto. It was after the Toronto game. I think he came out and he goes, I don't know. I think it was something to the effect of, I don't know if I want to coach this type of situation. It was something like that, and he got fired the next day.
Yep, you're right.
Wasn't it halfway through the game he kind of it looked like he almost quit? Like it was weird. Like that was, I don't know if they were getting pumped, the Leafs were pumping them or whatever it was.
They were. The Leafs were pumping them. It was ugly. Yeah. Like that team's awful. That's an interesting question. What happens with Philly? They're under the radar for some reason. Chicago and San Jose take all the bullets as like the worst team. Philly was horrendous down the stretch. Yeah. Horrendous.
Well, they couldn't. That is one thing. They had goaltenders that were, and again, Carter Hart left, but Carter Hart was gone for a while. It wasn't like he left, 2 months
and
ago.
He wasn't Dominic Hasek in his prime either.
But Hart was their one. But you look at that team, like they've got some good players. This Mishkov, I think, is a player. I think Tippett's a player. But the Trevor Zegras is there. Like, is he going to have a resurgence there? That's a guy that.
Yeah, they're trying. I guess he's happy that they
If it's going to put them over the top, it's going to have to be one hell of a resurgence. Like,
well, you know who's still on their roster? I think it was Remember, I called the guy. You guys got mad at me, and Leafs Nation got mad at me. Hawk Tua of the Leafs.
Oh, Grabenkin.
Grabenkin. Because I said he's got his 15 minutes of fame there in the media. Yeah. Well, he's still on that roster.
He's going to probably play for them, and that probably speaks to, again, the talent and what they're looking and what they have in Philly. Yeah. Sanheim's a good player. And they've
got some
good
like
players, but not great players. They don't have a superstar there. I love Tippett. No. Tippett's a really good player. Couturier's had so many injuries, and Konechny's a really good player. Konechny and Tippett and Sanheim, really, really good players.
Right.
But they don't have
no, but it's thin
a
after
McKinnon
that.
or a Kucherov or they don't have those type of players.
It's thin after that, and you wonder what they are doing there. They signed Vladar as the goaltender, and they got that Ersson. Like it just
maybe they're tanking for Gavin McKenna.
McKenna, they might.
He's at Penn State.
You can't be tanking. Sooner or later, you got to put on some kind of competitive team on the ice and do something. You can't keep saying year after year we're waiting for these guys to grow into something.
Well, you're right, but I think what they might have to do is you're looking at the other teams that have rebuilt and kind of come out of it. And I still believe Chicago, Anaheim, and San Jose are still, trying to come out of it. But where's Philly in that progression?
I don't think they're much further ahead.
Well, I don't know if they – you're right. They might be further ahead with NHL players and stuff, but they aren't – they're in mediocre land. That's what it is, because you're not – you don't have – this Mishkov, I think, could be a star. Mm-hmm. I think he's got a chance to, but he's young. So what are you doing? That's a team that would be I would have eyes on to go, who could I get off that roster that could help me? If I'm Toronto, if I'm Edmonton.
How do you get Travis Konechny out of that town?
Right. If I'm Toronto, if I'm Edmonton, if I'm one of these teams that are looking to maybe upgrade here or there, Philly might fit the docket for.
So what are they going to do? Say, we're trying to get better, and then by the way, we're going to give you our best player or a captain or whatever.
I think what it is they don't try and get better. You're trying to compete, but 20 games in, you go, we're not in this. We're going to get younger and trade player X for picks and prospects. That's
you got to be. You have to have self-awareness and self-evaluation. Right. They're just not. Right. They're not a good team. They're not. Right. They're not a good team. Yeah. And you're right. At some point, you got to turn the corner. Yeah. But I'm not sure they're ready to do that with what we saw in the last 20 games last year. It was really ugly for them.
Yeah.
All right, Struddy's coming up. Jason Strudwick in about 15 minutes. Role play level of concern at 5:30. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Jason Strudwick will join us in about 10 minutes. We've got some audio and video from Craig Berube on Max Domi and his role in this top line for the Leafs. They have the final game Thursday, tomorrow night for the starters anyway.
They had to explain Max's role, what's going to help him be successful and stick on the line. Maybe kind of similar to when Bertuzzi was there and he just got the puck and was passing a lot, and it was successful, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a really good run. You're right. Yeah. A couple of years ago down the stretch, that line had a really good run. And the thing is with Domi, and again, we'll play it in about 10 minutes, is – if he starts thinking he's, playmaker and it's the first line and it's all about Matthews and he's got to be dancing out there, that's not going to work. Basically, that's what Berube's saying. You got to go to the net. You got to throw hits. You got to be nasty. You got to be in scrums. If anything happens to Matthews, you got to get in there. Which, again, is somewhat unfair because he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays with courage, and Max will stick his nose in.
Hayes, he's just got to be a great player, and he does a lot of things well. And the one thing he does well that he doesn't do enough is shoot the puck. I think he's got a really good shot.
Yes.
Does have a good
Look at the OT
shot.
winner against Ottawa. He's got a really good shot. He does.
So if you get in position, just be a difference maker and do all the things that you do well, instead of when I get the puck, where's Austin Matthews? I have to pass it to him.
Yeah.
Because that's just not going to fly.
Keep it smart. Like, to me, if he is smart, and he's a smart guy, if he keeps it simple, like I feel like Max likes the bright lights. He likes to put a show on and stuff. Like, you don't need to. Just play straight line hockey with those two, and you're going to have success, and you're going to play 82 games with them.
Yeah. All right, we'll play the Berube clip. We'll get into Connor Ingram being acquired by Edmonton, third stringer, not necessarily going to start opening night, but it's a goalie out in Edmonton. And this Kaprizov signing again from yesterday, what does it mean for McDavid? We're less than a week away from the opening night in the NHL. So that more coming up with Struddy. Role play coming up as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
This is Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. Less than a week away from opening night in the NHL. We got, it's October 1st already, man. September flew by.
I know.
And in October, you're guaranteed baseball, hockey, football, basketball. It's a beautiful thing. It's going to be a great month.
What do you like better, this transition or the one in the spring where it all kind of comes together? Some things are finishing up, the Masters type area. Like, what is your fave?
There is something about the spring that's amazing because you get the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I do love the Masters, and you can golf again. I guess I would lean April/early May.
Yeah.
1, and then this is clearly a number 2 because I love football so much.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's tough.
It's a difficult one. Like so many things are firing up: football, hockey, baseball playoffs. It's tough to beat, man. It's really all kind of cooking right now.
It's amazing.
It is, but I like spring too. I'll throw one more thing in there: patios. Now you're sniveling patios. It's supposed to be like 26 this weekend or something like that. Like I just.
Dome better be open, man. It's always closed in the playoffs.
Open?
Absolutely. If it's 28 degrees out, it better be open. Like the schedule has been released, and it's kind of weird that if the Yankees win, the Jays play at 4:08 on Saturday, 4:08 on Sunday. If the Reds,
how are you with that? Didn't you want like prime time, or like what is your deal with the times?
I guess I'm okay with that. It's the weekend. I'm okay with that. I mean, there's going to be West Coast games, right? The Dodgers we presume, are going to get through. They're going to play. If the Dodgers are playing at 7 or 8 o'clock, I don't know. I guess I'm okay with that. I think primetime will find us during the week. I hope. That's where I'm more concerned. Like, I don't want a Tuesday game at 1 o'clock. You know, give me an 8 o'clock.
That's the one I was talking about that pissed you off in years past, where it was like everybody kind of knew it was coming, but like a Tuesday oneer.
Yeah, worst, man. Well, that was Game 5 in 2015 was an afternoon game.
Yeah. Well, it's not the word. It's just you feel the disrespect, right? Everyone's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
really? You can't give us something other than that?
Right. Fire up a primetime game.
It was
Come
a
on
great afternoon, though. Wasn't it like a Sunday afternoon, or like I feel like
don't
it was-
remember. I feel like it was. I don't remember. I thought we did the
We
show
were all
first.
there.
Didn't we do
were
the
all
show
there.
first though? And then
No, because the game was at 4:00.
Okay.
It was a weekend. I do remember because, we all were there, but in with different groups, all of that. And I remember going to Harbor 60 afterwards, and it was still
okay.
light out.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, it
Anyways.
was still light out, which is great. And you're right about the weather this weekend. That is a benefit. Game's done, let's say, at 7 o'clock. It's getting dark around that time. But if the weather's still nice, patio season extending into October is unheard of.
Yes.
Which is great. And you were, kind of pointing that out in April and May. I think you're getting that this weekend.
Exactly.
Like, I think if you're at a Boston Pizza or something downtown on a patio, anywhere in the country, Boston Pizza this Saturday or this Sunday, you're absolutely on fire, man.
Well,
You got
there were some dudes in Cleve that were they were having some pints. I don't know how they could extend it, Hayes, into a patio afterwards.
Well, that's a different story. If you go so over the top, and the Guardians won this afternoon, so Game 3's tomorrow, it's a valid point. Maybe it's time to get in a cab and go home.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's why, though, the 4 o'clock start gives you the chance to get downtown early. A lunch, maybe meet the boys downtown at noon, 12:30, something like that. Ooh. That's a different story. Or maybe a round of golf or something, and then get together in a backyard somewhere for the afternoon. Like, plans are going to be available for people this weekend. Yeah. Lots of options.
Yeah, it'll be exciting, though.
Yes.
I mean, the whole city will be buzzing.
It'll be great.
Whether it's roof open, roof closed, I think it's just the building will be so electric. Downtown will be electric. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, you got to have roof open if it's that nice. You have to. Dome open, patios rocking. It's great. All right, let's play this Craig Berube clip. We mentioned the Max Domi stuff, and we'll get Struddy's take on this. Struddy will join us here in a moment. Here's what Craig Berube had to say about how this top line in Toronto is looking in practice and the Max Domi, performance in particular.
We got to let him play his game and what he does and what he's good at. But at the same time, he's got to change a little bit, like we talked about. I need him to get inside more. I need him to shoot more. It can't be all about looking for Matthews or Nyes with plays. And we need him to make plays. But at the same time, he's got to shoot pucks. He's got to use his shot. And then, we need him to be a bulldog out there. I need him to be responsible defensively, like I need every player to be responsible defensively.
Okay, needs him to be a bulldog out there. I guess so, and you kind of expect that out of Matthew Nyes, too, with his size and his ability to get in the corners and, crash pucks and crash plays and get
I think
to
he
the
just
front of
means
the net.
assertive. Like, just be assertive and be good.
Yeah.
Just make a solid play every time you get the puck.
Right.
And just don't be dancing around looking for something.
Don't overthink it. It's a big opportunity for you. You've been in the league a long time, but this is your hometown, the Maple Leafs, the top line. And you're the guy that's getting the first crack at filling the role of Marner. It's Domi's
That's where
opportunity.
the pressure comes. That's where the pressure comes. This guy scores like no one in the league when he's on top of his game.
Yeah.
And now you're replacing the guy that fed him the puck all the time. That's a lot of pressure, man. Because in your head, you're thinking, if I have a bad first period of the first game, the coach is just going to make a switch.
Right.
You know how coaches do that. After 3 shifts, they'll make a change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nyes is pretty stable on that line.
He's not moving. He's not going anywhere.
Yes.
If that line struggles, the first thing it's Max Domi, you are out of there. Even if Matthews throws up a pizza around, up the middle in his defensive zone, that'll be the change. It's pairs and it's Nyes and Matthews. It's who is going to play on the right side with them. That's the question.
And as of day one, it'll be Max Domi. All right, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline, here's our main man, Jason Strudwick. How you doing, Struddy?
Oh, great, boys. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing well. We're talking about the top line here in Toronto. Everything's very positive here in Toronto. I'm not sure you believe that or not, but where do you stand on the Leafs less than a week away from go time?
Well, I think they should all be uneasy because it's part of it. And he affected and touched so many parts of the game that now, there's a lot of people that have to kind of do what he did before, try to fill in, because no one guy can do that. So I think they're uneasy, but honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it just makes things a little bit uncomfortable. Berube's going to have his way of doing a few new things with the group. So I think that we'd expect maybe a little bit of, inconsistent play, but I think you'll see some uncomfortable guys, which is healthy when a team has been together for as long as some of these guys have already.
Well, Struddy, there's change, and there's change everywhere throughout the league. You talk about without Marner, obviously, there's some uneasiness. Talk about the uneasiness in Edmonton, either with 97 not signing on the dotted line. Is that still a daily storyline, or are people trying to just accept what's going to come whenever it comes, if it ever comes?
Well, I think for the fans, obviously, it's still a big storyline. And you've seen what happened in Minnesota now. That their star signed. There's hopefully hope that they're hoping that they can get it done as well. But I think for the team and for teammates of his, an organization, there's time, right? And if it gets to July 1st and he hasn't signed, well, then I think there'll be some moments to panic for the players and the team. But for the players and the teammates, there's other people on expiring contracts this year, including Ekholm, Kulak, these types of guys. So I think there just have to be business as usual. The challenge for the Oilers now is to get, new players into this group. And whether Howard gets to start the year, or Matt Savoy, or, on the back end, there's some younger D they're looking pretty good, or Tomaszek, or No Phil, these type of guys. They need to get these new guys in because a lot of players moved on or moved on from.
Struddy, do you think Draisaitl looks at his contract, although it's incredibly a lot of money, and looking at Kaprizov saying, man, maybe I should have just kind of went about this a different way and I could have cashed in even more than I already did?
I know I would be. It's like what is that? It's not that long ago that he signed that contract, and now I believe Leon's better than he is, than Kirill is, although they're close. So it wasn't like that contract's 5 years old. But what about Mikko Rantanen? What did Mikko sign for? Was it $12 million?
12,
something in there. So he's $5 million shy times 8. That's $40 million. That's quite a bit. That's not your bar tab at Earl's on a Friday night. That's a lot of cash that is sitting there, and that contract is barely old. So I wonder how that changes how these superstar guys, when they sign, and how they choose to do it. Do you wait and be like, if Mikko had been more selective, would he have got more than 12? I'm not sure, but after this deal, I think he probably could have.
Well, even Kaprizov might think that way a year from now. He's signed a year out. He may get to next July 1st and think he could have gotten 18 or 19 million. Right. And what's amazing about the Kaprizov stuff is it's such a crazy number, yet I don't sense anyone expects Minnesota to win. They're no one thinks they're going to win a cup now because they got him done. He doesn't. He's an immense talent, really good player. Is he a winner? I don't know. They haven't won anything with him. He's a scoring winger.
He's already had people showing clips of him last night, floating around.
Yeah.
And they're like, look at this guy, just signed that contract, and he's weaseling around out there doing nothing, like floater shifts. And somebody caught it on tape.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. They're the fourth best team in their division with him.
Mm-hmm.
With him on the team. I think there's other teams, there's 4 teams or 3 teams that are better than him. So, Bill Guerin, I think this is a big part of what they're trying to do is get him locked in. Now they got Boldy. So now they have to add. And I know the salary cap's going up, and they have that salary cap penalty they had with Parise and Suter. That's past them. But 8 of that went to dollar bill Kirill. So they now have to add because that team isn't good enough. It's good, but it's not good enough. I don't think, like I said, right now I have them at the 4th best team in their division.
So, guys, I wanted everybody to weigh in on this. I was thinking about it, and I was asked this question specifically today when you're like, okay, 17, that's an outrageous number, for Kirill. Is he a top 10 player, all of that type of stuff. Do we, in the media, as fans, have to readjust, how we look at contracts? And I'll give you an example. In the year 2000, Chris Pronger made $10 million a year. And I look at the NBA players like – I think it was Stoudemire made $10 million. Allen Iverson was making $10 million. Nowadays, 25 years later, Kawhi and these guys are making $50 million a year. Yeah. Top paid player in the NHL is $14.5. And I know different sports, different TV contracts, all of that type of stuff. But is this hockey's time to grow? So 3 years from now, are we going to be looking at this and going, geez, William Nylander at 11.5 or whatever, unbelievable deal. But are we going to see the step ladder, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now where guys are making 20 and you're going, yeah, that seems about market value right now?
Jamie, I think it's great for the players. Like, how many times have you looked at other sports and said the hockey players aren't even close? And now the guys are coming up and starting to make massive cash.
Well,
it's appropriate for these guys finally. But the thing is, some guys locked in that have to wait around, like a William Nylander. For years, he's going to be saying, man, like, look at that guy. We talked about him in the Kaprizov comparison yesterday. He's going to be like, that guy making that much more than me? But that's just the way it happens, man. And it happens fast. Like, as soon as Kaprizov signed, all of a sudden people are going to be like, I got to give my player the cash because he got it.
It adjusts everything. And I guess Sportico, they're a website that delves into money and evaluation of different franchises and leagues. And they posted something today. I saw Kevin Weeks tweet this out. 3-year change per league in terms of value. I believe, like, franchise values and overall revenue generated by the league. The NHL over the last 3 years is up 108%. The NBA 78%. The NFL 72%. The MLB 22%. So in other words, the NHL is, like, to your point, thriving. And, the Leafs, today it was announced, this is according to Sportico, but they're the most valued franchise in the league, and it's like $4.6 billion.
Yeah. Remember when it was crazy that they were worth $1 billion?
Yeah.
Or the Habs were worth $1 billion?
Exactly. And again, to finish this point, and then, Struddy, you can jump in. Luke Hughes just signed an extension down in New Jersey. He's the youngest of the Hughes brothers. He's making the most money. He's the youngest, and to be fair to him, he's the third best player of the three. He's making 9, Jack's making 8, Quinn's making 7.85, and he was an RFA, and they just gave him $9 million a year over 7 years. So that's your answer. Yes, Struddy, everything has to adjust.
I wish someone would have said that about me and my cousins, that I would have been higher paid than those two guys. I would have been. I worked harder than both of them. Well, for sure, Rob. Maybe not Scott.
You got to say who your cousins are, Struts.
Yeah. Scott and Rob Niedermeyer did, for average players, but I was definitely underpaid compared to them.
Yes, you were.
But you know what I think? I think what will really hit fans, I don't know if it's the top market guys. I think it's when you have a second or third line center that might make $10 million. Or a third line center that's making 6 or 7, because the cap's going to keep going up and everyone's going to float up a bit. I think that's when fans are going to be like, no way, that guy should be making whatever. But we have to reevaluate what cap numbers are, because it's just a percentage. We have to remember it's a percentage of the cap, and then whatever that cap number is, that's the number to get on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think the Luke Hughes one's interesting because 7 years, I was kind of waiting for a short-term deal, and then maybe he lines up with Quinn Hughes, and maybe they go somewhere else. But now, if he's going to be in Jersey for 7 years, and Jack Hughes has got a lot of term left on his deal.
It only looks like it can go one way.
Yeah, it looks like Quinn Hughes is, if he's going to play with them, he's going to Jersey.
You know what? I want to throw in here, too. Doesn't it make you, if you're a top-end player, why would you sign for 8 years?
100%.
Why don't you sign for 2, and as the cap continues to escalate, that way you're not going to have a problem where, year 5 you're grossly underpaid. I think the agents will be leaning on these guys to go sign 2-year deals, and yes, it'll create anxiety within fan bases as we see.
What about injuries, though, Jamie? Like, are you telling me if somebody puts 136 on a table or something like that, and you're going to say, well, I might just sniff around and do a short-term deal to see if I can cash in a different way?
Yeah,
you get hurt. Like, that's you talk about anxiety. Like,
that's a great point.
But how often does that happen, though? Really, like, how often do you see an elite player quit not being able to play hockey again, right? Because it doesn't happen very often.
No. But it just, I think the only thing I would say to guard against that is you probably take out some wild insurance policy that if there is a career-ending injury, you're paying a huge premium on it, but it's $100 million cash, tax-free type of thing in your pocket, because that's, after taxes what you would have made, that type of stuff. But I just look at it as if you feel like a lot of these contracts that have just been signed are going to be undervalued by that player 2 or 3 years in, I would be shocked to see the next wave of players to sign for 7 or 8 years, or or even 5 or 6. It might be 4 or less, just based on how the escalating cap is going up.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. And that brings you back to where we started with Connor McDavid. I mean, maybe that's a situation where he's seen all this, and he can get whatever he gets now, but in a couple of years that might be 20 for 2 or 3 years, right? So, yeah, I think there's a lot of moving parts on all these guys, but Creel definitely set the table for them.
Yeah, he sure did. So Connor Ingram gets picked up by the Oilers, and he's their third goalie, right? He's going right to their minor league team, I believe.
Bakersfield, yeah.
Bakersfield, but still, that everyone's waiting to see what Stan Bowman's doing with that goaltending position, and this is the guy. If Connor is sitting there saying, "I'm only signing if you prove to me you're helping me win a cup," did this move the meter at all, or what? Strud?
And you think he specifically, Hayes talked about the goaltending, or what?
Would you be shocked if that's what he brought up at some point in a candid moment with management? It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean, if he signs tomorrow, I guess that will be the final piece, right?
Thank Connor Ingram.
Thank you. A guy who could have gone waivers, you traded for. So I guess when I look at it, they're looking for someone who has a little more experience being their third goaltender. And you see a lot of teams now with 3 goaltenders, and one being, maybe a weak or borderline backup, but a guy that can come in and help if there's an injury to Skinner and or Pickard. They have it. Now not going to be held over a barrel, try to trade for someone. They're like, yeah, give us a third rounder, a second rounder for this guy. But also I think it's a very low risk and possibly decent reward outcome. If he can go down and kind of get himself his mindset for whatever he was away working on, and then get his game squared away, maybe there's something there that can help, because he's had a couple decent years when I'm looking at it today. So, I think it's a very low risk and decent reward opportunity for the Oilers and Connor specifically.
Yeah, the reason, my understanding, they didn't grab him off waivers, because if you grab off waivers, you need to take the whole contract. So they let him get through waivers. Then they get Utah to chew on $800 of the contract, so it's close to league minimum, or if not league minimum. And he's already through waivers, so you can assign him right to the minors. So it's kind of a shrewd move, which it takes up a contract on your cap table, but he's your third, and their third was a guy named Matt Tompkins, who's not an NHL goaltender. So, if anything, it bridges against an injury. Kind of, you got a solid 3 there. But I do. A couple of years ago, he was pretty darn good for Utah or for Arizona. He played 50 games as a 26-year-old. He's 28. But again, that's not your answer, though, Brian. If you were talking about it, that was the crux of the question. Mm-hmm. He's not coming in to take Stuart Skinner's spot. If anything, he's taking Pickard's spot, because Pickard might age out here soon. So if anything, they're giving Skinner a runway here to see if he can either have a good start to the season or have a consistent season. But I still think that there's more moves to be made in Edmonton. It might not just be a net. I think they're going to still be fishing around up front as well.
Okay. Well, it's a roll of the dice. We'll see.
Right.
It got a little wild in Quebec City last night. Noodles was there calling the game between Ottawa and Montreal. Did you have any crazy preseason games back in your NHL career?
Yeah. Oh, well, so the year before, Chris Simon had stomped on Ryan Hallwig and been suspended for a lot of games when I was with the Rangers and they were with the Islanders. So you don't serve those during exhibition. It's only regular season. So we're playing against each other, and Tom Reddy comes in and says, "Hey, Holly, let's just don't go after Chris Simon. We don't need anything crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, sounds good." And because Chris Simon was playing against us, and halfway through the game, Holly runs him and there's a brawl, and we're all fighting, and then got kicked out. And Tom was so mad, but he was kind of laughing, thanks for 4 good shifts, guys, right? And it's just crazy. Those preseason, I remember sometimes if you didn't want to play, you just fight and just get out of the game, or get a second fight, so you didn't have to play anymore.
I love
that Chris Simon with the hair wheeling around, a scary individual. I hit him in the head with a high stick by accident once, and I was like, I'm dead. I'm completely dead. This guy's going to kill me. And he looked at me and said, "Please keep your stick down." And I was like, it was a shocking moment. I was like, I can't believe he just spoke to me like that.
Well, listen to how Struddy just described that scene. He stomped Ryan Holweg the year before.
Stomped his leg.
And let's just consider he had a skate on.
Yeah.
I remember it. That play was in Long Island, wasn't it, Strud?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And it was Yeah, and you could just see it coming, like, oh God, is this going to happen? And then you go into like, why play Chris Simon in an exhibition game against
exactly.
What do you think's going to happen, right? Like nothing matters. You just do whatever you want. And I played him. He was the best guy, like the greatest guy. But man, when he decided it was time to get serious, he wasn't very fun anymore. I didn't enjoy playing against him.
No
he
kidding.
was scary.
Well,
Big lefty. Oh.
I got traded for him. He lived at
Calgary.
my house. I got traded. He got traded to Calgary. He was a big part of them going on the run in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
he was awesome. But it was funny. He lived in my house, and I wasn't sure what to expect. So when I came home after the season, he called me and he goes, "There's a blank check on the counter." He goes. He goes, just fill it out for the damage. I was like, oh, God.
What a lot. And how nervous were you filling that out?
You got to tell us the amount you filled out on that check.
It was under 10 grand, but over 5 grand. Like it was, I think it was like 7 grand. And I was like, I don't even know how that damage happened. Like I was like, back then you would wish there was a camera phone or something going on, but there had to be some carpet and some hardwood flooring had to be changed in one area. And I was like, what is going on here?
Blank check on the way out.
Yeah, literally, I'm not lying. In the kitchen on the counter was a blank check. And then he called me and he said, you fill that out when you get the damages fixed. And I was like, all right, buddy. A great guy. What a great guy.
He's a great guy. Great human.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Well, him and Holwig, I love that. It's stomping him, and then in the preseason the next year, taking care of business. And Tom Rennie would have seen it all. He'd been around forever, right? Like he must have known. Like there's no chance you guys are going to be on your best behavior. There's no chance.
No.
Yeah.
We don't have a full roster for the whole game.
No. Whatever. It's your own fault. Shouldn't have dressed us.
Yeah.
All right, Strud. Great stuff. We'll do it again soon.
Boys, I'm off to judge a chili contest at the rodeo here in Edmonton. So pretty big gun they're bringing in for this contest to judge.
Wow. How did they recruit you, from Facebook Marketplace or what?
What do you have? How does this work? Like
he's got to wear a diaper, I think. Like, what are you going to chili?
Well, what happens if you taste a spicy one and your mouth's all screwed up? Like, how do you cleanse the palate? Are you an expert at this or something?
First time. I've never been asked before, and I don't know why. I mean, talk about celebrity power. But I'll have to figure out. Maybe sour cream cleanse the palate. I don't know. Do you have any suggestions?
China Whites. There you go.
Oh, China White. I won't remember the end of it.
Dude, you'll be leaving a blank check at the dry cleaners. Say, fill this out for any damage, mental or otherwise, after dealing with this.
You're going to need transfer from Noodles.
Yes. Noodles will take care of it. Yeah. All right, well, enjoy it and circle back. Give us an update later. We want to hear more.
I will.
All right,
I will, boys. I'm lighting candles right now. Talk to you later.
Attaboy. Have fun. Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Drive the built-in Canada fuel-efficient, fun-to-drive Toyota RAV4. Gas or hybrid models available. Visit mapletoyota.com. I wouldn't be good at that, man. I wouldn't want to do it. Like, chili's not in my wheelhouse.
No.
Why? Everyone loves chili.
I'm not a chili guy.
Neither am I.
Not a chili
dude,
guy.
What about like a turkey chili? There's all kinds of different chilies. It's not just...
No, can't do it. Not chili. I don't know. There's something. I don't know why. Maybe it's the texture, the look. It's beans or not. I'm not a fan of beans.
Too. The beans get to you, and then all of a
but
sudden.
what about it on a dog? So you guys are telling me you've never done a chili dog?
No chance, man.
I've done a chili dog, but I don't know if I've done a sober chili dog in my life, but I've had chili dogs before. But I don't know. I look at it and I feel like it doesn't look that good.
No, it looks awful. Look, it's like an English breakfast, man. Like with the beans pouring everywhere. It's awful.
I don't know who eats beans in the morning. Like this is not a problem that I have, but I go to Air Canada Club. I travel quite a bit. You go and there's oatmeal in the morning, and right next to it is hot beans.
Yeah.
Like brown beans?
That? Brown beans.
I love a brown bean with a scrambled egg.
In the morning? That's a British. That's like an Irish or Scotch. They're all
sausages,
Gross.
scrambled eggs, and a brown bean, and you just mash them all together.
You can't control it, though, dude. It just...
Control what? Afterwards?
No, well, yeah, that, but
you're
also...
getting on a flight for 4 hours, and you've just had brown bean soup from a lounge?
That's a disaster.
I think it's a perfect English breakfast, and I think it goes together.
But it just, like, the bean sauce is everywhere. You can't separate. Like, there's no point. You know, you might as well throw it in a blender.
Yeah, it's
you know
awful.
what I mean? Like, everything tastes the same. You can't. The eggs are just going to taste like the bean sauce.
I never took you for a separator where it's
I'm
like
a separator. Big separator.
Yeah.
Big food segregation over here.
Yeah, no, I am too. I don't like to mix it too much. My dad would have roast beef, gravy, mashed potatoes, and then my mom would pop a piece of cake on the same plate. And he would just go, it all goes to the same place, Jamie. That's
the craziest mentality ever. Like, that's like what a hyena would say if it could speak. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy behavior.
It is. It was. Like, honestly, he'd have, like, sponge cake that was put on, and there'd be gravy on it. He'd be eating it.
Oh, that's absurd behavior, man.
That's too much.
That's way too much.
It was.
Way
crazy.
too much.
Yeah.
All right, role play coming up. Best bets coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
You can never ask me to stop drinking. Do you understand?
I do. I really do.
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
All right, role play level of concern. This is one that we've kind of been talking about all day, but I think it's a good thing to continue with this because the Leafs are going to play tomorrow night, likely have their full lineup intact, including Max Domi on a line with Austin Matthews and Matthew Nye. So you're going to play the role of Max Domi. Right, it's a big opportunity for him. Not a young guy, been in the league for a long time, but grew up in Toronto, grew up loving the Leafs, clearly. Top line right winger with Austin Matthews.
Almost not like an opportunity. It's like, go make it happen. It's like when you're that age, it's like, it's not some young dude. It's like, go out there and you got to do it, man.
Yes, exactly. Like you exactly that. It's not Easton Cowan that they're giving this opportunity to. He's a veteran. He's not in a contract year or anything.
Exactly.
Like, you're a Leaf. You're a Leaf, and you're expected to do this. What is your level of concern, though, that your leash is short for holding down that right wing spot on the Matthews line?
JP, I think you got to give me a little Stevie Caldwell.
A couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
Just because of the circumstances and how good a player Austin Matthews is and the way he scores goals, and with Mitch being gone, there's going to be a lot of pressure on who's going to be dishing him the puck. And if you're the disher on the line or the guy that dishes it the most, there's going to be that expectation where this guy has to have success. But the other thing about that, Hayes, is you talked about it earlier, where Austin Matthews, his expectation is to drive the line himself.
Yes.
Like, if we're waiting for Austin Matthews' production to just be based on Max Domi passing him the puck, that's a crazy idea. He's got to be a contributor. But Austin Matthews has to be more of a go-to guy where he just takes initiative and takes control himself. And I'm not saying he's got to turn into Eric Lindros and just steamroll everybody and go to the net. But he's just got to do more things on his own. And he is fully capable and is fully expected to do that, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's an important point. Like, we talk about Domi, we can talk about who else might play on that line. If Matthews isn't cooking, start with him first as to why he's not cooking.
If we're basing Matthews' success on Max Domi passing him the puck or Matthew Nye's, then that's just crazy talk.
Yes.
Highly
he's got to
paid
create
player.
his own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's where I am, though. Rick Bushwood plus, you give me a Rick Bushwood.
6 Bush Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
And a Stevie Caldwell on top.
A couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
So that's less than Nick Cage, but it's just below it. And here's why I'm going to say that. What is the one consistent comment that Brad Treliving has had for 3-4 months now? Three months, we'll call it. Still in the market, still looking for a top 6 forward, right?
Mm-hmm. No, he's not going to find that by Wednesday night.
No,
right?
but what I'm saying is this is Max Domi's opportunity, but it's a short leash because somebody at some point is coming. That's, I don't, the argument could be Max Domi's going to start there. Where's he going to finish? Because that's where I'm looking at it. So that's why I would be more concerned, because how long that leash dictates how well he plays early on in the first 20 games. If he settles in and plays well, that extends it so that tree doesn't go, maybe I don't need that, or maybe I want to add, but a little bit closer to the deadline. That's what I'm saying. So to me, there should be concern, because the leash should be shorter based on what Tree Living covets, not what Max Domi's capable of.
I think he's old enough where he shouldn't be looking at it as concern, we just said it 10 times. Just go out there and do your thing, and the line's going to do great. Well, there's too many good players on the line.
Where are you guys at with the winger for Tavares and Nylander? Who is that going to be? Is it Bobby McMahon?
I think Bobby McMahon, it's a great opportunity for him, and I think he could, the way he shoots the puck and he skates, but that's the same thing, Hayes. You talk about opportunity. If he doesn't look like an everyday NHLer that can elevate like that, then he's going to obviously have concern too.
See, I think it's McMahon to start off with, but it might be Domi if they end up bringing somebody else in. And then McMahon goes down, and Joshua's, there's going to be moving parts. But I think it would be McMahon to start off with and see if he can settle in with those two. Now, McMahon is a pretty programmable straight line player. Great speed, good shot. But, Willie and John are shooters too. So he's going to have to go get the puck for them, right? And
there's demands with those guys, playing with those guys like you. You got to be on it, and you got to be physical, and you got to be a disher, and you got to do all those things all wrapped up into one. And sometimes when a guy's never done that before in his career, Hayes, it's a tough thing to kind of bring to the table.
Totally. I guess that's what I'm emphasizing. That is as much of a question mark for me, because Matthews will cover for you. Matthews will defend. Willie's taken off. Willie's gone. Willie's out at the red line.
He wants it on his tape.
Yes. He's going, and you got to find him, and that's the thing. Maybe Michelli gets an opportunity at some point. Maybe Cowan, maybe someone else. Maybe they have assets to go get one guy. I don't know if they can for two. And Domi, McMahon, they may not just be trying to show, their current line mates who they can play with, but also other line mates. And obviously it's the head coach that has to determine that.
And another thing for McMahon, if JT's kind of caught up, I don't think Willie's going to be enthusiastic to be the first man down low, so you can also get your ass down low and play defense in your own zone.
Right.
There's another responsibility.
Well, the other thing. So you just reminded me, Michelli on that third line with Waugh and Joshua, right? And then if it's Lorenz, Lawton, and Cowan, what you do have is, a smaller skilled guy on the third line, smaller skilled guy on the fourth line. That's with two guys that are bigger and more physical, that type of stuff. That's what they're looking at right now. That's Yarncroke, no Nick Robertson. Mm-hmm. Who else am I missing there? Camp or whoever else, right? Decisions to be made.
Yeah, there are. All right, Noodles, you're playing the Maple Leafs sixth defenseman, the veteran sixth defenseman, Tanev, McCabe, Riley, Carlo, Ekman, Larson, Benoit. They were intact all through the playoffs, all down the stretch. And they're all on term. What is your level of concern you won't all be intact come game one of the playoffs?
Give me Stevie Caldwell.
A couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
Why Stevie Caldwell on that? I would have almost been kind of a pint in the patio, Noodles.
I thought about that, but I also thought that if you're looking to add to this group, just at the deadline, it might be, hey, if we can bring in a puck mover, let's add to that. I keep coming back to puck moving D. The teams that have gone deep into the playoffs always have some guy. Now that could be Morgan Riley that has a great season this year, and I think we're all counting on that and all hoping for that. But if you add one more puck mover into that group, then it gets a little interesting for me. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bring in a puck mover, it's got to be an elite guy. Just to bring in a guy that can, I don't even know, puck mover. Everyone should be a puck mover in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, but somebody that we're looking like last night, I watched Lane Hudson and Jake Sanderson. Leafs don't have that.
They're not getting that guy between now and the
That's what I'm
deadline.
saying. That's what I'm saying. If you're talking about an elite guy, that's not happening. So any other guy in the NHL defense corps is just a puck mover, a guy.
Yeah, I don't want to get crazy, but like Rasmus Andersson might be available at the deadline. You know, guys like that. Like you look at it and go, hey, maybe there's a chance, maybe there's a fit. I don't know. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm saying if they were that 6 and I would be fine with it because they went in the second round with them and they were good. But it just, I think you're always trying to add and look around and I think there's going to be teams that are sellers and you might be able to grab somebody. Maybe Buffalo's a seller and you can get, somebody that you didn't think was available, Bowen Byram or somebody like that. Now I know he signed term, but
dude, their fan base would cringe if they heard you say that.
I know. Listen, please don't radio me or whatever saying Bowen Byram to the Leafs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if there are teams that are sellers and guys are available and you can upgrade in any position, you're looking at that. If you're Brad Treliving, that's my point.
Yeah. Listen, they're an older defense corps too. They're all a year
Riley's
older
31.
now.
The only guy who is under 30 is Benoit, who's 26, I believe, 27.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is 31 and up.
Yeah.
So you do need to have that progression as who's the next guy pushing through.
They got to find that. Right. Yeah, they've got to find that. They don't have it right now, and that's fine. But it's not. It wouldn't be shocking if one of them slowed down. I'm not going to name a name. I don't know who that could be. But they're all, when you get all guys over 30, it wouldn't be shocking if one of them, it was like, man, the wheels kind of fell off this year.
Right.
And if that happens, then maybe you got to move that guy further down the lineup. And then you got to find a way to replace that guy. It's not going to be easy, though.
Yeah.
Like the Leafs just don't have a ton of assets.
Right.
That we're aware of anyway. Cowan, Danford, you've got future picks, but even that, a lot of their picks, they don't have a first rounder for a couple of years.
Right.
So they're in one. All right, let's move back into we'll get back to you here. All right. Oh, you're playing the role of Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley.
You can't do that to me with my boy Scotty Vail, who was on the Ryder Cup team for the U.S.
They jammed up Keegan so badly. Like Luke Donald is flying all over the world, taking notes, going out for dinner with guys. Bradley's playing on tour. He's playing.
I know.
So, all right, I don't know how to not jam you here.
No, go ahead and throw it out.
Bob, what's your level of concern? You'll never be involved with the U.S. Ryder Cup team again. It's a strong one, but
it is a strong one. And for my boy Scotty Vail, I'm going to say, you know what? It's just a pint on the patio. Okay. It was ugly, and you're right. That was the best part. The best point you just made, Hayes. Like Luke Donald was looking into all these different things. I'm not saying Keegan wasn't doing that, but he only focused on that. I don't remember seeing too many tournaments. The odd one on the European tour where Luke Donald was playing. Keegan was almost like a full-time player.
Yes, he was. Every major, the players, all the FedEx coming down the stretch, the guy was playing. He's trying to win.
Yeah.
And, man, that European team, they are just, posting videos. They are giving it, daily. Yeah. They are just giving it to the U.S. Your boy Bobby Mack's posting. Bobby Mack, I don't know how he's going to return to playing golf in the U.S. because he is just roasting all the fans. He's playing videos with songs of all the chirps that they gave him because they were just giving it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They think he's overweight and they think he's too big and all this. Man, what a drubbing.
Yeah, that was crazy. And, yeah, it was crazy. You're right. And they partied. They partied and have a good time. I appreciate that, how much they wanted to win the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Well,
but I felt for Keegan, and he should have been playing, and they jammed him up. And I think he'll be involved again. I think they'll circle back and give him another chance when he's done, when he's retired. And it'll be a rah-rah thing. He's been through it once. He learned from it. Let's give him that other opportunity. And I just don't know if he'll be in a position to play for them in 2 years. Right. You're 2 years older. How old is he? 38, 39? I don't know. He should have been there this year, though. He should have been. He should have been playing.
Yeah.
All right, Noodles. Quickly here. You're playing the role of Kirill Kaprizov. What is your level of concern with this contract? You have to win a cup now in Minnesota.
I mean,
it should be Nick Cage. It should be, but it's not.
But
it's not.
I don't. I'm gonna go Rick Bushwood.
Okay. 6 Busch Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
You want to deliver, but the team is a very good team, but like even Struddy said, he felt they were fourth in their division. Like they're a good team. He's the face of that franchise, but they need to build it out still. And Boldy's a good player. What's the right shot defenseman that was up for rookie? Faber's a really nice player. They got a really good goaltender there, Gustafsson. Like they have some pieces, but they're still building it out. So over the life of that contract, they better do something good. Put it that way.
Well, don't you think the difference would be Noodles? Like Vegas, everybody wants to seem to knock on Vegas's door and say, you know what, I'm coming up, or I'm gonna, you know, I don't know if. No player's doing that in Minnesota, and that's a big-time disadvantage if you want to compete for a cup. So it's not on Kaprizov.
No, you're right. It's Billy Guerin's got his work cut out for him there, but they got some pieces. They just got to build around it. I keep thinking, like, what's Eichel going to be? What's Eichel going to get? Like, what do you think? Like, I think he maybe takes a hometown discount there to stay in Vegas. Like,
and it's still probably going to what Kaprizov has done for everyone is raise the bar up where you can still look charitable just because you're making less than him.
Right.
Where, like, let's say you take $15 million.
Right.
Where prior to this, if Kaprizov signed for $13 million, he's making more than Draisaitl. How could you possibly justify that? Now all you got to say is, well, I'm not making Kaprizov money. Wow, that guy took 17. I only want 15. I'm here to win. I want to win.
Exactly.
I'm a charitable guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'll bet you McDavid's going to do that if he re-signs. 2 or 3 years, $16.9 million. Hey, I'm not even the highest paid player in the league.
I know, Hayes, but
what a guy.
We talked about the other guys on that Edmonton Oilers roster. Like, that's a big chunk of change, man.
The new core fours in Edmonton, it's crazy. But the core fours hit the oil. That's where they're at. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. We'll get to that next.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, today's Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Get the app open because we got to get to this quick. Yankees win tonight. I got the Yankees on the money line. I think they beat Boston. I think this is going at least 3. Well, can only go 3,
You're
so it's
praying.
going 3. Yes, exactly. And you're the Jays. Keep playing, right? Keep playing, and the Jays are sitting at home and waiting to go. And I got the over in the Dodgers-Reds game tonight. The total's only 7.5. They had 15 runs last night. I think the bats continue to show up, at least for L.A. I think the Dodgers alone go over that number. That parlay paying plus 170. Today's Best Bets powered by FanDuel. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is the exclusive home of the OverDrive same-game parlay. Please play responsibly. 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, we'll see Yankees-Sox tonight, and we'll see what happens in that Dodgers game. And the Guardians survived today, so they're still around.
Yeah.
Who won the intra-squad game?
I don't know, but I got updates that sounded like Vladdy played well. Vladdy had a couple of big hits.
Vladdy had a good game playing against his teammates?
Yes. Vladdy loves the Rogers Center against the Jays. He loves it.
Dude, that's maybe what he needed to get cooking before the playoffs.
Yep, I think you're right. And the Dodgers are currently up 3-0 in the top of the 9th against the Cubs. So it looks like the Dodgers are going to survive there. Game 3 at Wrigley tomorrow. So Game 3 in Cleveland, Game 3 at Wrigley. I think Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, they're playing the Padres. What did I say?
Dodgers.
Oh,
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say anything.
Padres. Padres beating the Cubs. My bad. My bad. My bad. All right, there you go. Good stuff. We got hockey games tonight. We got the NBA back in camps. We got a lot going on.
A lot of
fun months. October 1st. We're into October. It's awesome.
Man.
I know, it's crazy.
October baseball on the weekend in Toronto.
Go
That's
time.
pretty impressive.
Go time.
Really got to love it.
All right, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live. Every show up on YouTube Live on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
Good luck to Struddy at the chili tasting contest, 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.